Alrighty, hello everyone, folks. Hopefully that's actually the button that's doing it now. Apparently stuff has changed a little bit in the settings department here. We'll see if it's actually that different or not. But anyways, welcome to another Union level 0, which actually, hold on, I'm in the wrong dealie. Let's go to the actual right file here, and also I should probably go move this mouse. There we go. Anyway, let's go see, where were we last time here? Just getting into Chapter 2, or did we actually get past Chapter 2? I think we were already here, weren't we? Yeah, 6 hours? That sounds about right. Okay, we'll assume that's the right one. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and get this thing going. Also, it just occurred to me, I have the chat in the completely wrong place here. Let's see. We go to the chat thingy. Let's go ahead and move it over here. Or not. Hold on. Nope. Nope. Select the box. We select the chat thing, and then we move it over here. And then hopefully, it should be easier to see. Because what's the point of a Union Level 0 thing if you can't even see the Union Level 0? Dang it. Alright. So, last time we were at Zaidmore. Basically, the problem was that it is the Zaidmore fight. Alright. So, what are we working with here? Also, how do I make this chat transparent? Also, hi there. I have no idea how to pronounce that, but hello. Also, can I make this invisible somehow? I feel like there should be a way to make that... Okay, apparently I can't even mess with it without it getting angry at me. Fine, fine. Understandable. Fair enough, I guess. Actually, let's go ahead and set this to full screen preview so that hopefully I can see everything a little bit better. But now I can't see the chat anymore. Okay, never mind. We'll figure out the chat thing and how to make it see-through again next time. For now, it's just going to be a box over there. Alright, so... where do we stand right now? Basically, we're lacking a bunch of items. That's what our issue was last time. So I'll go over here, go ahead and settle a bunch of stuff. I can't see anything because the chat box is in the way. I might just like leave that in the background because that's a bit of an annoying problem. I basically, when I was originally doing all of this stuff years ago, the program that I was using was OBS Studio. Or specifically, no, it was Streamlabs OBS Studio, and they had a whole bunch of weird, sketchy stuff happen, and then also the thing ended up becoming more and more laggy and stuff like that over time. So, trying this thing, which is just the more basic version, and somehow there's a setting to make the chat transparent, and I currently do not have that activated, so good stuff. Anywho, let's go ahead and buy some more items here, because that's going to be a bit of a hard carry at this point. We're definitely missing at least a few of these. So buy some of them. We need some more time basins. Buy some of them. What kind of garbage we get to sell here? First of all, let me click over here so it doesn't give me this red line across the screen and I can actually see something. Mage staffs, gonna be handy. Sibyl staffs, one of the most worthless items in the game. Anyway, let's go ahead and... we might want a sticker at some point. The hand axe, not so much. Alright, dang it, and now you can't see the stats. That is just plain frustrating, to be honest. Okay, whatever. We'll figure that one out. Just not at this second. Let's see, a couple bronze helmets. Can probably get rid of some of those. Bucklers we'll keep, because those are going to be more useful later. Sell some gloves. Sell some chainmail. That's going to be a pretty decent source of money at this stage. Let's see, playing the PSP version because it finally got achievements and retro treatments. Oh, that's neat. Alright, might have to, I wonder if it'll actually function with, One Vision. That's neat. I didn't know that they actually got those. Is he enjoying 60% recruit success again? For now. I mean, you can get that up to 80% or so with enough anatomy and whatever else. Now, in Suffering Crafting, yeah, that's why I'm so curious if it's going to work with One Vision. Because, like, vanilla PSP after Reborn is a thing. But going back to Tovi, yeah, you know, it might be a bit more of that. Okay. So let's see. Let's go ahead and sell some of that stuff. And let's see what else we can end up picking up at this point. So we don't have crafting yet. Crafting is really going to be the big thing that makes a huge difference. It's mostly just items that I needed at this point to... make some better progress, as it were. Let's see, 50%. I feel like 50% is going to be roughly equivalent with the mending seed at this point. So let's go ahead and shove one of those on there. Before I forget to pick them up, I'm going to get at least a couple holy waters for later. And, by the way, funny note, I should probably mention this. Pretty much every item in the game will have 100% chance to hit. However, Holy Water is literally just reworked Grimoire Exorcism from PSP, so this does actually have a chance to miss because it checks your mental stats, if you were wondering. Oh, a set for One Vision might be in the works? A different set out? Okay, perfect, perfect, because I actually had a bunch of stuff that I wanted to do for the PSP version, so perfect. Perfect timing on all that. Actually, that's... Well, now that I think about it, my plan to revive this this Vita doesn't really work for that then, does it? See, okay, weird annoyance, by the way. I want to cover more more like PSP and One Vision, whatever else, on the Steam Deck. But it's a very annoying issue, because blown up to the bigger screen, it looks like dog doo-doo whenever you're going and playing normally, because of the weird ways that the game scales up stuff. Like, that's one of those background things that, again, when there were a bunch of complaints thrown at Reborn over how they, made some stuff look better on a bigger screen and whatever else, it's like, you don't understand how badly the other one held up when you went and put it on a bigger screen, So anyway, what ended up happening is for whatever bizarre reason, when it comes to PPS's PP on the Steam Deck, it refuses to accept the new texture pack because people figured out, how to do that. And, Rakes and what's his face, something with Mars, I think, were going and working on making that texture pack and whatever else, and it looks really nice. Granted, not really super on board with some of the debuff icons, but still, it looks really nice. For the most part, and yeah, it refuses to work on this thing. Again, just kind of for whatever reason. The texture pack appears to be in the right place. It loads some of it, but not the rest of it, which was thought to be a just strictly PPS's PP, just like that version issue. But this is updated to its most recent form, and it still doesn't work. I don't know why. I've put a few messages out there, but I haven't really gotten any responses back, so... No clue. But yeah, that's kind of a thing. Alright, let's see. What do we want here? We want the debuff lady, we want you. I mean, that's just mostly an upgrade. And no extra rings. I really should start shuffling those rings back and forth. Put probably a Mighty on you. That'll do the job well enough. We've got our 3 recruiters. They do all have recruit, right? Let me just make sure, because that was an issue. They do all have recruits. They do all have their heals. Do you have some extra items? Because they all probably want to carry some extra items on them, just for good measure here. While I don't expect to be using those items, they're just going to be a bit of an emergency thing there. You also could use an item, just in case, again, we can't dedicate anybody in that particular direction. Archer guy, you also get an item. Good for you. Maybe one more revive, because he ended up surviving pretty well last time. Actually, where's... there we go. Let's go ahead and give you probably a 1 Fortify, 1 Blessing, and 1 Heal. Who the hell did I give that other stuff to, though? There was another bird that I just gave that stuff to. You. Alright, Mr. Folk, you are getting retired, so we're gonna go ahead and take all your stuff away. No hard feelings, you're just not really useful anymore. At least not for the moment. Level 1 is gonna be a bizarre adventure down the road, but there we go. Let's see, so this is no level ups, only recruits with more level. Basically, yeah. The idea is that it's, I mean, exactly what he said, that it's basically no level ups whatsoever. They can raise up their weapon skill up to whatever their current level is, but in general, like, they can't actually raise their level by any means. Who do we remove? Probably Octavia here, because we already have her job figured out, and everybody else is a recruiter. Wait. I remember there was something I wanted to recruit last time. Griffins, right. So, we want to recruit the Griffin. I need one of these guys swapped out. Are any of them specialized in axes for the moment, as if that matters? You're hammers, so Genlens might be our beast hammer. Again, it's only minor training that they've gotten so far, but still. Anyway, beast hammer for you. So we need to do that. There was... Hold on, there was also one more thing I wanted to get out of this fight that I want to double-check. We get Lobber. We like to lob around here. We get our Subdue, because a Griffin could very well carry us for a decent bit here. And for that matter, a Griffin would just be a useful long-term tool. I'm thinking Jewel is probably going to be a bit more useful in this case. Do we have any free bucklers? Because you should have one. Yeah, so I gotta say, there was one theory I had earlier on that was basically saying I wonder if the AI just simply was specifically told not to use offhand weapons to try to mitigate, you know, essentially to try and mitigate the kind of stat bonuses that they could potentially get if they went for relics in the late game, and maybe that decision was scrapped somewhere along the lines. It seems to just be that their offhand just in like for the sake of auto spawns, the offhand does not behave that way. I'm sure there was a story that's going on there, and we'll never know what it is. Let's see. Do we want to replace you? I kind of feel like we want to replace her with Sizzly. Because we're going to want a spear user, and we're going to want somebody a bit more flexible. But we get also Recruit, we get also Constitution. I probably should do something a bit more fancy with her, but that'll probably do for the moment. One Brand of the Sacrifice on her, because she's going to be going semi-aquatic. One Holy Water, because she's actually got a chance to make some use of it. So there we go. Also, were there any items on that Archer? Specifically, were there any rings? Yes. Yes, there was. Alright, we'll be having that, we'll be having that. So you're not fully retired as of yet, but for the moment I'd like those back. And you can go ahead and stab a little bit better. There we go. And or defend a little bit better. But that'll do the job right there. Okay, let's see. Playing it on a 2K monitor looks bad, but I'm using some filters. It's nice, but... did you use the HD pack? Because the HD pack is pretty legit. And whenever playing some One Vision, you can actually alter the portraits to be appropriate for OV as well. So that's all nice and handy. Anyway, let's go ahead and use you to open up this quick word or quick walk or whatever. The plant. Stab the shrub, receive the goods. No? You should give it a shot. Especially if you're playing it on a monitor that size, it should look really dang pretty. Alright, let's get our Zombo going up here. Zombie does the usual zombie thing. I think our debuff caster is going to go this way. For the most part, we should probably just sit back and let them come to us. I'd like to pick up a few cards on this archer here, but for the moment, I'm not seeing anything that he's really going to be too much of a threat against, other than the other archer back there. So either way, he's mostly here to train up his bows a little bit, because I'd like to have at least one Hawkman with a Dark Weight, just to have that tool in the bag. Realistically, I'm expecting to just hire a completely different one at that rank already, but screw it. Again, it's just kind of there to be there for now. You're not running any auto skills, so you just need to be up there getting ready to chat with Mr. Birdie, our new best friend. And also, I just noticed, this was a prime opportunity to go recruit a lizard, too. Damn. Well, whatever. We don't have any advanced lizard classes as of yet, so we'll just go ahead and leave that as is for the moment. I keep forgetting that they're here. I'll probably pick up that card with that knight. You can probably go for that crit, because he is Eric the Parry God, the luckiest man in existence, so we might as well. And in fact, actually, she might be the one to go for the skill card. She is the only one that rolled her skill after all, so obviously she's gone and earned it. But all right. But yeah, so far the only time I've seen where that HD pack just didn't work right was the Steam Deck. It worked fine when it came to my phone. It apparently works fine on a Retroid, but Steam Deck's just like, no, I'm sorry, I'm just too special for this. So, you know, it'll be like that sometimes. Linux is gonna Linux. Apparently, it's not necessarily a Linux thing. I don't even know. I'm sure maybe I'm just missing something obvious. It's happened before. Alright, no charms within range, we got some stuns within range, no poisons within range, so let's just go ahead and throw some stuns out there, see if anything wants to land. There we go. Been trying to get through Crimson Tactics yesterday, and immediately thinking completely different things of stun. I'm expecting it to take away turns for 3 turns. Oh, man. It is a little bit of a tragedy. I was, like, I'm still expecting to do that whole, review, like, full review kind of thing for Crimson after it's done. It's not, like, I don't feel like it's really the length that's the issue. There's plenty of game, but, I think it's less that, like, the bugs are super egregious, but, like, when they happen, they're the kind that really hit you. Like, those situations where, like, one of the chapters in it is just plain going through multiple maps of more or less the same thing. Where you're going and fighting a bunch of undead stuff over and over and over, which it isn't ideal, but I get what they were going for. They were trying to set up scale there. But anyway, multiple times over the course of that thing, I had softbox. So, like, you'd get through a 30-minute long fight, be on the very last part of it, and suddenly it's like, oh, I'm sorry, did you try to throw a rock at the back of this ghost? That's a softlock, buddy. Now, granted, that probably makes it sound a bit more intense than it is, but still, like, I've had multiple softlocks trying to go through one chapter. Still, it's cool the stuff that they try to do there. I just wish that it had more time in the oven, you know? But, any darn ways. See, the problem is that I'm playing PPSSPP on RetroArch on Steam to sync saves. Oh! No shit, it can do that? Granted, you'd think I'd know this, considering how long I've covered this stuff, but yeah, apparently I don't. Textures and DLCs on PPSSP save, let's see, save directory are synced and break Steam Cloud because they occupy a lot of space. No shit, that is awesome. I didn't know you could actually do that. Like, I didn't know that that it actually would back up saves from stuff that isn't from Steam natively. I never even thought to try. That's really cool. In that case, shoot. In that case, I kind of, I kind of want to revisit that Retroid plan. That's because that's got that on there. Okay. Maybe take it back a notch and rethink that plan a bit more thoroughly. But still, that sounds like it could be a really fun idea. Also makes me wonder if... well, actually, no. If it saves it only through Steam directory, then presumably it only would be on Steam devices. So, I mean, let's see. It syncs saves from all RetroArch cores. Neato. Also, wait a minute. I just noticed I do have the thing to recruit lizards. Fantastic. Okay. First things first, flirt with the lizard to see if there's anything there. Okay, apparently not. They're not very compatible with each other. That's a bit of a shame. I guess we'll have to beat him into submission until they like each other. Hee. Right, in that case, we'll probably just move up here, take it a little bit slower, get our tamer back up to a proper health level here. Still 0% recruit on this guy, as you would expect. So we got a tremendous ready to go. See if you can maybe pop one off over there. That's a nice, happy little whack. Perfect, and delete his cards, whatever they were. I think he was the Fizz Up card guy, so that works out nice. Alright, she gets her bonus damage anyway. Alright, a very tiny amount of extra damage on those counters, but it'll work. Let's see, it is because RetroArch is a Steam app. It is not the standalone RetroArch. Okay, that makes more sense. Actually, wait a minute, I thought they took RetroArch off of Steam. Like, wasn't that a whole thing a little while ago? I don't know, maybe I'm just being crazy. Anyway, let's buff up some dudes. And then proceed on. Right now we just need to kind of take some territory and try to play it safe a little bit. The knights aren't currently threatened. That's not what I meant to do with that heal. Whatever. You're gonna miss. Did not want to miss. Okay. Alright, whatever. Just take one of your grapes. Perfect. Okay, the bait worked. It's granted a bait with a high cost, but it still worked. Alright, we got the guy in there. I'd like to see this bird getting chopped down a little bit so that we can recruit it. So basically, what we're looking at with the Griffin is just gigantic health pool with big movement. Even if it isn't exactly going to be very useful in terms of directly fighting stuff past this chapter, its utility is something that still remains, because you don't have anything else that can really match it in terms of like, health to movement, you know, give or take. Not to mention, levels don't tend to matter as much with them, just because, again, it's all going into health. There's kind of like a certain degree of sanity check when it comes to all that stuff, so you'll typically see some better results. It's like even an out-leveled Griffin is still just there being a flying meatball, so it works out nice. Alright, so maybe a long time. They did take down Dolphin. I think Dolphin's the one I'm thinking of. Let's see, is Dark Priest better than Princess in one vision? Depends. So full disclosure, it might have changed a bit since I last saw it. But anyways, I would say personally, I didn't see either one as really being necessarily better. They were just kind of like different flavors for what you preferred at the time. That being said, most of that is because I typically ran Princess almost all the time, just because Spear plus heavy armor plus healing, it's like exactly the unit I wanted in that game. So, admittedly, my actual experience with using Dark Priest in that one is fairly limited. But again, one of many reasons that I'm hoping to cover a bit more OV in the near future here. As soon as I can get this emulation situation sorted, and/or just get this Vita working, I mean, that's still a whole adventure of its own. Which, yeah, for anyone watching this thing that's wondering, the Vita is... I don't know how you describe that right now. It's halfway dead, but almost maybe not quite super dead, if that's a thing. Essentially, it looked like it was the power button that was the issue, and I'm still hoping that maybe that is the actual issue. But basically, it had a button that was not responding some of the time, and/or was responding weird a lot of the rest of the time. It was flickering on and off. So I was figuring it definitely has to be this, this power button issue. And then all of a sudden, the PlayStation button stops working for some reason. So then that became a separate mystery to go and solve there. At which point it suddenly decided that, it just wasn't doing the turning on thing anymore, so it's still maybe the power button, and maybe it's just the power button inputs somehow getting in the way of the PS button inputs. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure, but we'll, again, figure that out as time permits. Anyway. So, current situation here, what I'm trying to do isn't really to directly win this fight by any means. I'm trying to get a few of their units through. Namely, we've gotten the Lizard, we've gotten the Griffin. I want to see them get recruited so that we can hopefully get them on our team, do some stuff with them, have more options, and then from there we'll be going after the Wizard up there. Now, I probably should have picked up a few Archer class marks, maybe turned some of our air units into Archers, but for the time being it'll just kind of have to do. Anyway, I need to see some better numbers coming on against this Griffin. That's the one non-negotiable part of this whole thing, so we're just going to go ahead and breach it real quick so that I can hopefully see some better numbers flying out of it. Let's see, birds end up tanking everything too in my experience. Yeah, they're just really, really good at it. Let's see, what's better, sword or cudgel? I mean, are we talking... Which version are we talking? Because their roles are entirely different. Oh, to have in the Princess? Well, again, depends which version we're talking. If we're talking about one vision there, like in one vision, I would say probably swords in general, just because you don't necessarily need as much of those different stats as much, at least the way I see it. You could basically do sword and just go full defense on something like a Princess there. Shields matter a ton in that one, and just because there aren't any one-handed cudgel options, you just have casting cudgel and combat cudgel. That's one of the few things that I didn't agree with when it came to OV, because it just kind of felt like you should be able to have a combination of both, but either way, minor things, But I just like my one-handed cudgels. If you didn't tell from other videos on this channel. Anyway, So yeah, if it's one vision, then definitely I would say anything plus shield is going to generally give you better performance. If you're looking just for a dedicated caster, then yeah, sure, go for the cudgel there. Like if you think that they're absolutely not going to run into anything, but like Princess in that one is way more tanky. In the vanilla game, I would definitely say cudgel. Just because you had your one-handed cudgels, you got your augments on them, and on top of everything else, you still got shields and whatnot. So they typically will do the job better there. Let's see, we got 0% chance of anything right now with her. Let's go ahead and move her over here. This recruitment plan is going a little bit haywire, but oh well. We're gonna have our Valky go and start working on their leader, just so we have a bit of an easier job of that when we get down to it. She's probably going to have a bit of a hard time. She's not really going to be having fantastic odds right now on account of, well, everything about her. Alright. Get some numbers going against this guy. Get him into recruit range and proceed on. Alright. You don't have a revive, do you? No. I think when we move him over here so that he's in position to go start blocking the front again, heal up our Tamer a little bit. Our Tamer is nowhere even remotely close in the timeline right now. Bit of a shame. Let's see, we get our Mighty. Hopefully we can knock this guy out of the way. Actually, I would like to recruit this this TK over here as well. So go ahead and drop a 310 on them. That's actually beneficial here. I don't know when that knight over there is moving, but they should easily be within recruit range at this point. Okay, she's almost definitely getting targeted. There's nothing I can really do about that, so she's going to get a dodge up at this point. See if that does the job. It did not. Shame, shame. And I think it would have been ideal to have our Tamer get shield bashed forward there. Oh well. Oh, Reborn Princess? Depends on the sword. For the most part, I would say Cudgel's almost definitely, but, like, main hand Cudgel, offhand Brynhilde is probably my favorite. Just because you have the revive option, and it seems thematically fitting. Generally, you're not really going to get too much counter damage out of swords and whatever else, but it does have the better finishers, so I would say, like, okay. Main hand Cudgel, especially something like a Lipples. Offhand Brynhilde, go ahead and have sword skills. So don't bother with the Cudgel skills. You have the sword skills. You use them as a dedicated caster, but then you have the finisher options to fall back on. Probably going to be the most convenient way to handle it. Alright, come on, join us, buddy. You know you want to. That is Tragic. Probably recommend whip build. I mean, yeah, the whip build is really darn good. It is a bit trickier to use, so bear that in mind. But yeah, whip build, like, Princess whip build is really messed up. It's really, really strong. For those that never tried it, the reason for it, Armageddon is probably the best neutral scaler in the game. It's a weapon that's already pretty darn strong, and on top of everything else, you get Meditate that's just giving you free Armageddons every turn, so, like, Stinky set, Armageddon build, pretty much the entire time you're just running around spamming Armageddon every turn, and nobody can even touch you, so it's great. It's pretty fantastic. If this guy would like to join, that would be wonderful. I think I might be doing that thing where I'm getting too distracted by talking and completely throwing the fight again. But that's okay, these things happen. What we're going to do, even if we don't get the recruits, I do have a very, very meaty hit against this guy right now, so there we go, goodbye to half your health. So all we need is one more of those, and yeah, we're pretty much good to go. That Valkyrie up there is about to die. That's not an ideal situation, but if we can replace them with somebody else, that'd be pretty darn good. Would like to see that Terror Knight joining the team, but I will settle for him just being dead. Alright. our main knockout option got knocked out. See, early game, it's pretty difficult to get a hold of Griffins. Like, especially under a rule set like this, it's pretty difficult to get a hold of Griffins because they are always on the frickin' move. When you're in Farampa, you can kind of close down a corner, control the map, all of that kind of thing. When you're in a story fight, definitely less so. So I don't know if we'll be able to get this Griff, but it would be nice if we can. Call it the Griff Grift, if you will. So you gotta love those recruitment misses. Oh yeah, absolutely. Always a fun time, but again, that's just part of the challenge. That's how it goes. We do the thing again. Please don't crit. Thank you. Kindly. I really love one of the subtle changes that they did to the sounds, to the hit sounds in this version, where it sounds more like there's a layer behind something when it's being hit. Like, it's very, very similar to the PSP version, and it might even be the same sound effect. But there's a little bit more of, like, you can hear something getting thunked behind, like, some cloth or something, you know? Very oddly specific. I just appreciate it. Anyway. Right. Really low odds of this. Try to recruit this bird. And, yeah, that's 0%. Don't know why I tried it. Anyway. Okay. So, what we need, we've got our zombie that's about to get back up on her feet. I can't see which one it is that's dying. If the zombie gets up first, she should be able to go revive our other Valk. Or for that matter, she should be able to just win the fight. Here's the question. Does this one have a revive? Yes. So, what we do is we move her over here to go pick up this match-up card. See, one of the cool things that that happens when you're going and running low-level type stuff is that you'll be able to take advantage of some kind of weirder situations. Like when it comes to magic and stuff like that, typically we'll be running a lot more off of stats. But since you get I believe it's technically a flat bonus off of things like these cards and whatnot. Basically, lower level units typically will tend to get better results out of those matchup cards. Anyway, let's go ahead and hit this dude. I should not have attacked from the front. What am I doing? Should just attack from the back. Oh well. That guy just ate a zombie. Everyone's diet is going to be a little bit different. That one's just a little bit special. Okay, well that's a shame. Alright. Anyway, we do have our secondary air unit over there to provide a little bit of help if need be. But again, I would like to at least attempt this one a few times until we get that Griffin, just because of how good they would be, but, you know. This one will be a very flexible run. Because we can also get Octopi in the next map, I believe, which would be a pretty fun thing. There we go! We got the bird! We got the bird. And now we just gotta figure out how to actually not die now. Actually, hold on. Yeah, if he moves fast enough, he actually has a pretty solid chance to go take this guy out. Because he picked up a crit at some point. Everybody else is getting targeted, so... kind of just depends on who we have left on the field right now. Eric, do you have a revive? You do not have a revive. You should consider having a revive. That would help a lot. But here's our current plan. We take this guy, we breach him, and we see if he attempts to move closer to the Griffin. If the Griffin decides to get all close there, then, you know, we potentially have some options. Do you have any revives on you? No, you don't, but you do have a heal, and you can potentially heal this guy. So our current plan revolves around getting this bird to go meet his master here within a couple rounds. So we'll see if that ends up happening. The only units that seem to be targeting him are going to be the archers. That's good. Because everybody else should have a disadvantage. Did he just... okay, he didn't just die, so that's something. Then again, I can have him throw rocks. So Arrow Pidgey died. He took exactly 2 shots, and now he's shuffled off his mortal coil. Oh well. Come on, crit this. Beautiful. You beautiful bird. We love to see it. Okay. And actually, the knight might be able to go finish him off now. Come on, knight. Come on, knight. You got this. Because the bird certainly doesn't anymore. Alright, Eric the parry god. He's got good footing. He's got his 85%. Does he want a slight height advantage? Yes, he does. There we go. Beautiful. We have bird! We don't have Terranite, so that's going to be something I'm going to regret down the line. But we do have Terranite, or we do have Bird. It's something. All right, let's see. I need one. The game left off with portents of an impending attack. I would love to visit that story. Hang on, wait. Does Tactics Ogre have decimals for percent chances? No. I don't believe so anyway. At least they're not active. Let's see. This franchise has been living off the SNES version. Will they ever make a new installment? A ton of stuff has changed since the SNES version. Like, one video project that I'm still kind of taking notes on and whatever else and trying to make work in the background when there's time. Here, let's go ahead and... This bird needs a name. If anybody's got a name in mind, do go ahead and show it, throw it out there. Wait, what? Apparently to use the keyboard, I gotta make the chat disappear. If anyone's got a better name within the next minute or so, we'll get to it. Because, yeah, we've got Burb. Anyway, so, here's the thing. So the SNES version, again, is just, by the time that PSP and Reborn rolled around, a bunch of stuff has changed. And the weird part is that while another installment may be possible down the line, it's, let's see, Condor Man? I mean, that seems like we can name a Hawkman after that, though. Anyway. Actually, wait a minute. He was the stealthy thing that made this happen. Okay. I need something better than F-35. Anyway, so okay, they originally back in the SNES, the way I understand it, because obviously translation's going to be weird like this, the way I understand it is that they had March of the Black Queen, and they basically were told, like, go make weird strategy game. They're like, okay, I made weird strategy game. Look, the writing matters. And so they're like, okay, we really like the writing, not so sure about the rest of the stuff. And then Tactics Ogre happened, and they still weren't really quite figuring out the gameplay part of it, but the, adaptable story was the whole shtick. But there were a bunch of things in there that they wanted to do better, which is why the PSP version happened. Which the PSP version, as I understand it, like they essentially had him succeeding with FFT down the road, or Matsuno succeeding with FFT down the road there. So they had a little bit of clout to throw around, and they wanted to remake their older games. And so they basically were just told, like, okay, go make the ultimate version of this game. And so they ended up rewriting a bunch of the scenes. They ended up adding a whole bunch of new, like, criteria for stuff to happen. New characters, new recruits, and what have you. And then by the time that Reborn rolled around, they're like, okay, we had this ultimate version, but also nobody owns a PSP anymore, so we should probably get on that. And so, they wanted to essentially bring it up to the future. Now, every one of these games in the series has had different mechanics, has had different ideas behind it, and this is just generally the one that's easiest to point out to be like, hey, look, depressing politics on a chessboard, story depths, this is easy to understand, right? And meanwhile, you look at something like Ogre Battle 64, and it's like, okay, you got your squads, but then your squads also have individual people, but then they also have formations, but then they also have these other formations, but then we also have this menu, but this menu has like 7 other submenus within the submenu. So, like, depending on where you put people, depending on how you equip them, you're going to have all these different results, and like, this is just generally the one that's easiest to describe. And actually, one thing that I was kicking myself the other day for not thinking about earlier is when it comes to the actual skills in this one, it's a lot easy. A lot of times you'll see like FFT players getting on that thing of like, well, it technically doesn't have XYZ skills. Like, the whole point of Tactics Ogre is you make the effects of those skills, essentially. That instead of, like, one of the most direct ones was something like Hamido, but instead of being like, okay, I set up everybody beforehand with a high brave level and Hamido, and now it's just always going to work. Instead, it's like, okay, you show up on the field, you've got your skill, you've got your preempt, and you've got your crit on your sword. Essentially, if they attack, somebody else will still counterattack them, but if they activate their crit and then they pick up some skill cards, essentially they're able to, preempt the attack, knock them out of the way, and then, you essentially get your Hamido effect, but you've kind of like built up to it, so to speak. Buckbeak? I mean, that's pretty odd. Oh, I haven't heard Roach in a while. Actually, wait a minute. Wait. He can be Fly Roach. I like that, because the other day I was thinking I should probably, there we go, Fly Roach. He doesn't like to take coach. Um, uh, only knowing the Buckbeak because oh my goodness, what has happened to what has happened to that lady? Anyway, okay, we now have crafting. So now we go ahead and save, and this is where everything more or less changes. So at this point, we now go back and we have access to debuff weapons, the greatest freaking tools in this game. Okay. Anyway, you ever seen that movie, Condor Man? I have not. I'm not familiar with that one. You're gonna have to explain that one a little bit to me. Alright, first things first. We go buy some stuff. Because basically everybody just got an upgrade, and our wallet just got a massive downgrade. Actually, come to think of it, Condor Man, I wonder if... Did I ever see that? My brother and I used to watch some weird movies, so there's a possibility that, that I just simply missed something, just so you know. Alright, Mr. Folk. Oh, right. Shoot. Yeah, you get an upgraded longbow. And I'm probably not going to run more than 2 upgraded longbows. I'm specifically starting with those because we're going to need them for a little while. And at least 1 upgraded shortbow, because there's actually maybe 2. Because those are just going to be a really cheap upgrade that we can do right now. Next order of business, I need my Zwei. Get over here, Zweihanda. Who are the good ones? I don't know. Friggin' Zweihander's the greatest dang 2-enter in the game. Whatever. At least... You know what, screw it. I'm happy buying 4 of those. Alright, we go ahead and sell some stuff because we need to fund this Zweihander economy. Okay, don't auction. We're definitely not auctioning right now, though that'll become a... I was about to say it'll become necessary later on down the road, but for level 1, it's absolutely not going to be necessary at all. Alright, we're going to get at least a Volge for Zombo. Below on funds at the moment. Probably get rid of the battle axe. Like, the axes are alright, but I'm not really going to be focusing on them too much. Staffs are fine. I'm sure we have some extra armor to sell. We always have extra armor to sell. Selling off bits and pieces, you know, typically how you get money in this game. Alright. We need to craft some upgraded chainmail. Which I gotta say, like, weird thing on the chainmail. As much as I make fun of the PSP version, I gotta say, it was bizarrely satisfying how the chainmail was set up in that one, where it was like this cheap, reliable upgrade that could basically last you all game, just made out of basic components. It wasn't anything flashy whatsoever. But it just felt good to be in Chapter 4. I'm like, yeah, I'm still running my knights in, like, chain +1. It's fine. It's exactly okay. It's basically the same vitality as its upgraded versions here. Like, we completely skipped over Baldur. They don't need casting stats anyway. You know, I just appreciate some little stuff like that sometimes. Anyway. We can upgrade a few... Actually, what am I doing? I need to be upgrading pants. So I need to be upgrading pants, I need to be upgrading gloves. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, those upgrades are going to start getting expensive quick. Anything we can sell here? Probably not anything that we can really make any use of. Like cragworms, will we ever want an earth dragon? That is going to be a hard no, Chief. Coral harps to improve weather conditions. We only get better in worse weather, so we're going to sell those. Alright, and then need some pants. Need to be upgrading as many pants as we can. Some more upgrades on the zombie. Eric the Perry God has earned his fancy pants. Incidentally, also what they call diapers for lady dogs. Just ignore that little detail. Probably sell a few of these. Linen slops are weirdly expensive in this universe. I just want to point that out. Let's see, gauntlets. Who do we want climbing stuff? We definitely want these guys climbing stuff. But I can only afford so many. go. That is something. Alright, who do we got where? You got your Vols, you got your stuff, you got your gauntlets and things. You're looking pretty alright. He's going to switch over to Shortbow Plus at this point. So Shortbow Plus has a small chance to inflict stun, so it kind of gives him something that he can do, since he's otherwise being a little bit iffy right now. If you happen to see the level 1 run of PSP, we relied on that one pretty extensively for a decently long time, and then it switched over to poison weapons after that. What else we got? Canopus is pretty much entirely fully retired at this point. There's really not much he can be doing unless... he can't even make use of recruit skills. He's got some basic skills he can use. I mean, I guess we can switch him over to Cleric at some point if we need to bring him in for some reason. Alright, let's see. Condorman is a spoof comedy trying to be like James Bond, but he's Condorman. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe they had it on Comedy Central at some point. See, Geralt's Roach, that's nothing new. Roach could already fly a long time ago. He can actually fly. Admittedly, look, I have the Witcher games in the library. I have started and stopped Witcher 2 right at the end so many times, it's not even funny, because my computers never last as long as that game does. Anyway. So, yeah. I got, like, right up to that gigantic siege camp right after you have the big fight in the fire and whatnot. And then just, yeah, after that point, I just never finished it. It's... I know I should. I know it's an awesome game, but, like, I just never finished it. Alright. Let's see. I'm curious. Do you make Deneb a witch or shaman? Use her as a shaman for summon magic? I like to go option C on that one here. Let me show you. Let's go ahead and save our crafting real quick. Go ahead and load up the main save file if I didn't accidentally overwrite it. There we go. Let's see, what are we doing with Deneb these days? Anyway, so here's Deneb the Fusilier with a handgun and crossbow. I like to do stupid builds around here. No, as far as Deneb goes, personally, I like doing the same thing as with Kashua. That's just like the whip and meditate combo, just because Infinite Armageddon is overpowered on the three people that can use it. So that's just kind of fun, and it's a fun animation to see. Yeah, it's honestly, I don't like leaving them as either one. Like, shamans in general, I just consider really boring. It's like every other caster's got something fun going for them. Shaman's just like, I shoot fireball really far. It's just kind of dull. It's like, at that point, again, just like Terror Knight with his Vi +1, get some Fearful Impact in there, longbow in the back. It's like, go ahead and one-shot something in a more fun way. Let's see. Which has S9 requirements that I don't even want to remember right now. I just went for fighter summons. I mean, I know my first time through, I liked keeping her as a Valk. Just Valks in general are just so adaptable to everything. Okay, so quick little overview of the party here, because I want to have a second tamer for this part. So Fly Roach is actually going to take over for item support. We're going to load up a bunch of items on them. And they're going to be just kind of generally serving that role. Probably give them the magic leaves here. Magic leaves I typically will leave on heavier units so that they can use them for finishers and things. The casters can already generate their own stuff, so, you know, stop sucking on... the casters can stop sucking resources from everybody else. There we go. One revive on Fly Roach here. See, because the reason they want to do this is it basically just gives you a constant way back. If everything goes wrong, you always have just that one unit that you can click on at a distance and be like, well, they revived this unit, who also had a revive on this unit, who also had a revive on this unit, until you finally get exactly who you need to go get the fight back on track and everybody's back on their feet, you know? But yeah, the Griffins are pretty difficult to pin down. But I feel like we're probably going to switch somebody into another Beast Tamer here, so let's go ahead and take a look what we're working with here. Yeah, we got 2 Octopi. I don't got a Beast Tamer over there. Anybody running anything interesting? Because Winnowa here is not... I think that's just Winnowa. Not anything too scary. We've got the octopi over there. I want those for their false strike. Plus, they're essentially another level up at this point. Beast Tamers, this is gonna... If we recruit these guys, that's a free stun dart, which I would like that. In fact, I would like to try to recruit as much of this team as possible. Their leader isn't really much of a threat, so I think we go for full recruitment here. Do we get rid of... I feel like we get rid of any weaker links in the party right now. Just go ahead and get our Griffin to go do what they need to be doing here. Instead of Constitution on you... hold on, do we have a better shield for you? No. They're still stuck on light shields. Okay, two things. First of all, you get the other short bow. We're going to go ahead and replace his hammer skill with Empower Beast. That's going to help us out a decent bit here. So we've got you over there, we've got Griff over here, going to be parking up the side. That should be pretty good for blocking off a few different areas. These two go up the front. Actually, these two go on the right. These ones go up the front. You also go up the front. Sizely here only barely survived the last fight. It was just a little bit funny. We don't have enough money to reasonably get back to spamming as many revives, so we've got that. Hang on, I'm going to move the chat real quick so I can actually see how many I can deploy here. We got one extra. Alright, let's see, I like liches. Same here. And by the way, for whoever keeps asking for Know Your Unit lich, that one is coming soon. As soon as I have a second, which technically this is also consisting of several seconds, but the plan is to have that one out this week, as well as another video I was planning on just kind of redoing the intro of the game to hopefully be a bit more useful to newbies. Because there was this whole discussion lately over the fact that Matsuno seems almost religiously opposed to giving you a good introduction to anything. Alright. Yeah, she's already in the party. I feel like Archer would probably be pretty handy here just for keeping space. You got your thing, you've got... It would be good for her to have a ring, but don't think we'll see too much of that. Crossbows just for that little bit of extra defense. You go off into the side there. One extra warrior in the front. I almost feel like maybe... I meant to turn him into a cleric. Because if I turn him into a cleric... Actually, maybe just a knight. I mean, he's already healing, I guess. Okay, we got that, we got that, we got his zaps, we got his not zaps, and I probably should give him something a bit more useful later. Yeah, that's probably fine. Because this is all human units and 2 octopi. The octopi are going to be a pretty decent threat at this point. We've got enough healing support coming in from almost the entire team that it should be fine. I'm going to call this good enough. And we'll see how this goes. Let's see, for Deneb, they get some fun spells and abilities. Also true. See, Witch is at least at its easiest to unlock as of Reborn. Oh yeah, it's not even close. Like, the requirements before were absolutely ridiculous. At this point, all you gotta do is get one of each dragon. You buy, I think it's either 1 or 2 of each orb instead of 3 from friggin' PSP. And yeah, basically this consists of just buying a handful of dragons. You can... Everyone outside of Hydra, you can just swap between the different class marks. And yeah, you sell them, you buy the orbs, you use the orbs for crafting. They at least have a useful purpose in this one. They were essentially a consumable item that was really overpowered in PSP, but mostly used for profit. They were a way that you could get infinite money. Okay. So we're going to use the Griffy over here. Let's go ahead and block off this right area for a little bit. I want them to get close, and I want the octopi to get in close. Our starting area is pretty much as good as it gets as far as safety from them, so we're mostly going to hang back and let them approach us. The octopi should like to approach faster than everybody else. We really don't want to be dealing with the octopi on top of everybody else, so, you know, we'll deal as we'll deal. Might have the zombie go out just to have them out there. Thankfully, or no, it's Josephine here. So she's just going to hang back there the entire time. They're going to send a few units forward. Yeah, you're just going to go over here because I want you close to the front. Recruiting these guys is a bit of a pain in the neck. Probably Warrior and Tamer is going to be the best way to handle it. If there's any Fizz cards, I'm going to try to get them on the Griff. Well, we'll see how we do. And I wouldn't mind replacing the entire team with these guys right now. But for the most part, we're going to stay relatively close to our starting area, and then pull back as needed. You go ahead and pick up this. You should get aggressive, send a few forward, and then go backwards. So 3 Fizz and a crit turns a Griffin into a just flying Wrecking Ball. They go from Tasty Meatball to Flying Wrecking Ball pretty quickly. Okay. Let's see, Livia's my Fusilier in the Chaos run. Barbas said, oh shit, this weapon is too powerful, I'm gonna die. She said, oh my, this weapon is so powerful and easy to use, they're all gonna die now. Understandable. Yeah, I have Olivia as the Sword Master on my last playthrough. I think I like having her as the Sword Master there. It just felt appropriate, because, like, I basically had Denim running around as a complete dedicated support, and then I had her more or less serving as his bodyguard. And then just over time, it became just a very cozy synergy between them, because she would draw aggro, but also be really good at fighting off aggro for anything that came nearby him, meaning that she was constantly preempting stuff. Eventually, somebody told me where the hell to find Demon Petal this time around, so that was pretty handy. And yeah, just essentially a concentration powder on her on top of something like just a Demon Petal or a Weakening Dance or any of those. It really, really can carry. Like, I was surprised how well they actually did the job. I think in many cases I probably prefer the Sword Masters to even an upgraded Angel Knight. But yeah, it's nice. They're just very, very cozy. I mean, the heal isn't very good, but it's there. But yeah, let's see, I had Sherry as a Terror Knight. Again, just so you know, for any characters, just make them into whatever you want. Realistically, optimizing for stats is only going to get you so far. If you're not already taking advantage, like, if you're taking advantage of elemental advantages and debuffs and whatever else, you're already doing just fine. You're already probably doing better than 80% of folks that actually play this game. And if you're not, learn those things, because the stats are only going to carry you so far. So yeah. Alright, you go and peck right there. Bonk, bonk. Yeah, the octopi are probably going to be pretty meaty for a while here, but having a renewable source of False Strike would be pretty darn good. Nothing for you to really do right now. You just hang back. I would like to get some Fizz Up cards on this Archer, but I don't think we'll be getting very much at this point. She is very religiously opposed to this team in the wrong direction. Her religion is countered by their religion. It's so weird that that's a mechanic. Alright. See, a bit of a missed opportunity that shows that horses at the start of the game, and then you never see a cavalier or siege weapon or any of that for that matter. Yeah, it would be cool to see that stuff. It's kind of implied that the wizards are the siege engines of this universe, at least that's kind of my read on it, just because you see stuff explode and then you see Denim run out, almost like they're using wizards for it. So they're using, like, bombs and whatever else in the background, so at least there's some representation of that, just not very much. So yeah, it definitely would be cool to see more siege weapons, but oh well. I mean, they've established in March of the Black Queen that the siege weapons of this universe are termites anyway, which somehow that's even cooler. But yeah, it would have been cool to see them do more with mounts. I mean, like, that's one of those things that, for all of its flaws, I've been enjoying that in Crimson Tactics there. But yeah, it definitely needs more time in the oven, but it's definitely an interesting system to play around with. Like, for those that didn't see it, the idea in Crimson is that you sacrifice a party slot to drop somebody on top of a horse, and then if they're on top of a horse, they get their attack range doubled sideways, and then also take up four spaces, and the horse itself is basically an unhealable second health bar that's like twice the length of a normal health bar. So this basically turns them into almost like like a classic XCOM tank in a way, where like you can't really restore their health at all, but you can potentially see a lot of good returns from that trade-off. So if you play smart, you can get some really good stuff out of it. Let's just go ahead and try to go for the stun here. I was kind of hoping that would crit. No luck. Alright. And if I'm talking a little slower today, sound a little bit exhausted, absolutely am. Alright. So now we need to pull back. We've got the zombie out in front, so they can start doing some backfield recruiting. That aqua bubble is gonna be a pain in the neck for the time being. Oh well. I'll go ahead and pick up this card so we can spawn more in the background. Do you got any reasonable shots on any... Like, are you ice? I don't think that's ice. No. Maybe? No, that's not ice. The only one you can kind of hurt is this one over here, at least not without some assistance. Because, yeah, she doesn't have the attack ring. That would definitely help out a little bit. Ah, whatever. Take some training shots, I guess. Get your range level up. Alright. Gracias por los videos. Glad to do a thing. Glad to entertain. It's a fun little hobby. I'm glad that it's actually managed to stick around this long. Because it definitely takes a decent amount of effort, but hey, you know what? Someone's got to do it. Alright. See, in FFTA 2, you had Chocobo Knights and could mount different Chocobos. In these games, you could keep different Chocobos or horses and select them to use. Yeah, FFTA 2 has so many fun ideas. I mean, the Chocobo Knights weren't really something that you really wanted to use in the long term, but still, they were a really fun addition. Like, it was really cool how they did it. Again, for all of its flaws, again, I still want to just point out that that the way Crimson handled it is just pretty darn fun. Not perfect by any means, mind you, but fun. Alright, I need to make a bit of a risky play here. How does this do? Because if they go back here, if we can get that warrior unit distracted, then potentially this could mean that this grid... Actually, you know what? Let's do it a bit of a smarter way. You go over here, you go ahead and eat your mending seed, and this should hopefully not result in him getting completely dogpiled by those octopi. That's a problem if it's exactly what happens, but for the moment, I think we're okay, maybe a little bit. The idea is that they go back there and hopefully roll for a one-shot crit on that wizard. If they get it, that gives us a pretty big advantage, because that's one of those types of damage that's going to be relatively stable, and we want them out of the picture as much as possible. We can recruit anybody and make them into a wizard. We can't necessarily deal with the wizard after the fact, though. Let's see. Let's chop this one for the moment. I don't think we'll have any recruit odds as of yet. There we go. Thank you for that stumble. Stumble, stumble, stumble. Alright. Just gonna roll the parry, because of course they will. Get our phalanx up here. We got any low percent odds here yet? Nothing? Okay. Beautiful. Alright, let's see. Also in FFTA, you had a farm to keep captured monsters. Yeah, that was also a pretty fun mechanic. It was, I mean, you could only use them with, like, 2 classes. Officially 1, but also kind of 2. But it was cool that it was there. I mean, they really tried a lot of experimental stuff with A and A2. It's a little bit of a shame that they had a tendency to get looked down upon in some cases, because they really did try. One of those big nostalgia fixes to go back to. Alright. Nice big meaty whack out of that one. Alright, so he's going to attempt to go after the Griff. Perfect. Thinking we throw one heal backwards. We go ahead and have our Valk kind of circle around the side here. Zombie's still down, but that's okay. Cleric, again, isn't really going to charge forward, so as soon as we can break the engagement a little bit, which is primarily going to consist of flying backwards out of the warrior's range here, and then attempting to one-shot this guy. Well, didn't quite one-shot, but still, it's okay. Can follow it up next round. Alright. Now, this one needs to go. So, I'm going to go ahead and drop the breach. Archer will be able to finish them off. Their turn is not as soon as I'd like, but that'll be okay. I feel like they're probably the biggest threat right now. But anyway, I like that warrior unit gone. I'd like the other basic soldier guy gone. If we can recruit that ice unit, though, that would be perfect. So it's probably our biggest issue right now. I was actually kind of expecting this to be a problem, but apparently it isn't. Alright. For the sake of safety, we're going to put a dodge on you. I probably should be going for something else, but didn't quite happen. Also, if that archer in the back gets taken out, that's fine. They're sort of nearing the end of their shelf life, but not really. Alright, we're going to try to re-up this charm, or not charm. What am I saying? I was going to say re-up the stun. We don't get charm bows until way the hell later. We'll go ahead and throw one heal out that direction. See, gave each sister a different role. Sistina was the stealthy weeb, Saria was the aggressive weeb, Sherry was the magic weeb, and Olivia was the only sane one. I mean, understandable. See, here's the thing. I would figure, canonically, okay? Canonically, Olivia probably would want to stay where she is, or I liked the idea of the whole Swordmaster thing, because, you know, they're going and leaving the church and doing the whole free spirit thing, so why wouldn't they become a dancing sword hippie? But but I figure Sherry, like, definitely just seems the angry sword. That's why I went for a Terror Knight on them. They just seem like the sword that would just go completely apeshit on somebody for something really minor, you know? And then Sistina was, what the hell did I do with it? Actually, funnily enough, I had Sistina as the ninja also. Because, yeah, it just seemed to work. She was already sneaking around at the very start, so why not? So, yeah, there was that. Anyway, go ahead and go for the recruit. Fantastic! We got the ice unit. Alright, I think we consolidate here. Go for a little bit of a heal, because they're about to get completely thunder-dumped if we don't consolidate. So we're going to let the archer get past our line here. We're going to move in and secure some lines here. Again, if we have to lose the archer, that's fine. Any one of our units can be switched over to the role. It's really their element that matters, and we probably won't be needing a fire archer for a little bit there. So whatever happens, happens there. Alright, you just roll for a couple breaches. Didn't quite get them, but you are going to go over here and attempt to go for that apparently 7% recruit. That's actually not too bad. Oh, beautiful. Alright, cool. So that's already 2 converted. I mean, at this rate, we're probably going to have a... I was about to say we might be able to just go and save this guy for later, but goodbye. I'm not risking that. He's the only guy with, like, long-range damage that we can't necessarily control by any means. We're going to block off this octopus, though. For anyone that's ever tried to recruit these specific 2 octopi before, this map sucks for recruiting octopi, because they will always just go hide in the frickin', like, canals. It sucks. Okay. Next order of business. Who's in range? I feel like we just... No, those aren't breached. We should be going for them as soon as possible. Tamers. I would like to have the Tamers on our team before they get their Empower off. Probably pull you back because you're taking a bit too much punishment. Take a little bit of a free damage here. I doubt this will have... Yeah, that's, like, no odds whatsoever. He's fine where he is. Yeah, they just really, really don't like that that one archer. Okay, so we've got a water archer now. Do they have any fire units? No. That's good. That's even unboosted, so she's got to be one of the good ones. Let's see, I can't actually see her stats because the chat's on top of the thing, but I would assume she's probably one of the ones that ended up specializing in Dex. Or rolled Dex Strength, maybe. Bonsoir, Tactics pals. Hello there. How's it going? Apparently French person. I mean, that sounds French. And then it's going to turn out to just be some other version that I don't know. Alright. Let's see. Yeah, I thought I missed something there. Apparently I did not. Alright, so she's got claws, she's got no skills. This is one of them ones. Guess just start scratching on this one. It's kind of a little bit more punishment than I'd like to take, but it's fine. Okay, you temporarily block off access this way. Get a breach off on this one. Looks like we've got all of our knights coming up pretty soon, so we should be able to recruit them. Again, we don't have very many actual revive items, so the safer we can make the revives, the better. So if you get them to low health, they typically will throw a lot of healing at that unit, which means that they'll waste a lot of turns, but since they're breached, you can make up for that healing and then go back and, you know, do the whole stabby-killy thing. I don't really want to put this Griff too close to the other stuff, but at the same time, there's a chance for a nice big crit and a stun if we put them right there. So what we're going to do is, first things first, go ahead and see about recruiting this one. That was a little bit more dangerous than I'd like. Well, go for the recruit. Didn't get it that time, that's fine. And she's dead. Well, nice not knowing you, I guess. I don't know what you were thinking there. Next up, we've got you. And you are going to do, once again, the whole Healy thing. I can't quite reach the Griff, so you do that one. I mean, we already got at least a couple of recruits, so that's fine. Do you have any odds before? No, so the odds are going to be pretty low. I'm thinking we collect the bag and just go for the heal here. Because we're going to block off we're going to partially block off access to this area. And also we're going to make sure whatever this is not getting lost, since apparently money issues are just going to become a thing. He's going to obliterate our zombie Valk, which actually works out perfectly. And apparently this is the Valk without the Volge. Great, I brought the wrong one along. Nice to know. So we'll have to upgrade their Volge at some point. Denham's getting himself shot, which is one of those situations you don't typically like to see, for the most part. Not unless you're going for that particular ending. There we go. We feed the bird some grapes, and as is common knowledge, when you feed a chicken some grapes, they immediately regrow any and all lost limbs. It's a very useful thing. Some farmers like to take advantage of all the time. Okay. Yeah, that's going to go great. Yeah, we're just going to have her shuffle off over here for the moment. As will you. Just attempt to heal yourself. They're unfortunately a little ways out of healing range right now, so if they do get knocked down, we're in for a little bit of a problem. That's why I'm hoping that we can push these guys back to some degree. Alright. If we can gain control of this upper area, that would help a ton, especially if we can get that tamer. Because then we don't have to worry about, like, for example, if they suddenly pick up a crit, and then we suddenly have to worry about an empowered crit. Like, that's just something that no one really wants to deal with. Okay, there we go. She's not holding up too well, but still technically holding up. One stun breath here. Still hasn't rolled a single crit, disappointingly. Got a Mighty Impact. I might just go take out this archer so he stops being a threat. At the same time, it's probably worth going after this one. Because typically beast units will have far lower loyalty, so you can take advantage of that to make some progress. Okay, where is that soldier guy? He ran away. Shoot. Alright. In that case, you go for heals. Alright, now you go for the soldier guy. Cut him down a little bit. He's got a stun. Go for low but decent odds. Just waiting for that little bloop sound, and it never comes. Alright, let's see. Speaking of endings, despite me killing pretty much everything that didn't join me, I got the invasion ending. 100,000 soldiers versus 1 lord, 7 birds, and 5 dragons. That's unfair. Lotus needs more. Yeah, they didn't even mention the patriarchs. Apparently, Valeria is the only one that has them, and yeah, everyone else is gonna need to bring more to that party. Okay, heal up our beast tamer man. Gonna move you over here so that hopefully this octopus doesn't move anywhere. Still 0 on the recruit odds. Okay, we're just going to roll for a stun against her. She's going to block it. Nice 12%. You love to see it. One tremendous shot. That's just going to bounce off of everything because everybody's water here. Alright, you go over there. She goes for the stab. Let's try to get this guy trapped in as much as possible. Probably could have gone for the other direction because she could have attempted a recruit on the other guy, but this'll do. This'll do just fine. A little bit worried about that octopus, so we're going to go ahead and pull him back over here. Let me guess, this is going to be the one time you crit, isn't it? Nope. Okay, maybe not. But he's all primed and ready for recruitment. Alright, one water shot. If you want to... Yeah, 192, that's feeling pretty good. Take that out of there. Apparently Tamer guy isn't really feeling like living too much. That's what he wants to do, that's what he wants to do. Alright, 20% dodge, beautiful. Tremendous. Please don't kill anything important. That's fine. Man, could you imagine if accuracy buffs and debuffs actually affected the hit odds of recruitment and things? See, is the Rune Fencer stuck in the little kids pool down there? Yeah, I moved her down there so that I could have a little bit more control over the waterway, because you can kind of control which way they go there. And then I'm hoping to recruit these other two guys, and then we can have even more people on our team. Just kind of replace our entire existing team with these guys. This is kind of low-key turning into a run that I wanted to do for PSP for years, which was just basically playing as the NPC teams. Which somebody told me that there was apparently a way figured out to make that happen, like for real, like a multiplayer kind of mode. I need to follow up with them, see if they're feeling up for it. There we go. We got our big one-shot on the Griffin finally. Took a little bit of a minute, but we got it. Alright, no sense risking this archer. You just stay back there. We need more heals, though. And I need somebody to revive this guy, because I want to get these octopi. Alright, get a mighty impact. We're going to throw this guy into the water for the time being, just to have a little bit more space. Oh, we've got the other one down there. Okay, so that's not going to work. Do you have a revive? Who the hell's got a revive around here? Alright, you want to join? Before you become a threat? This dude's about to get, like, taken out here in a second if he keeps trying to not join here. Alright, you don't... Does anybody here at all have a revive? You won't. Will you? No. I might have to bring the Griffin back, because they might be the only one with a revive right now. Because I think I took him off of everybody else. Yeah, I think the Griff is the only one with a revive up there. That's a bit of an oversight that I need to be taken care of. But it's fine. As soon as the situation becomes untenable, we just, you know, start killing stuff. I actually forgot to check her. She probably has a revive. She does. Alright. Revive that man! And I guess go pick up this card before somebody else does. So we still have one more kind of mulligan here with our revive items. Alright. He needs MP. He would barely be able to survive that, but I don't think it would be enough MP. Alright. Just eat some grapes. And just live for the moment. Just live. Try not to get completely destroyed, if you could. I'm actually glad she got knocked out. I'm no longer glad that she got knocked out, because there goes our revive. Okay. Alright, we are going to start working on this cleric as a backup plan. If we don't get an octopus, we don't get an octopus. Archer's getting pulled out of retirement to go do some stuff. Fencer is getting demolished, as you do. You got a revive. Not a very useful one for now, but you've got one. Just going to try to stun that thing just in case. Didn't quite happen. Alright. Unfortunately, they keep positioning themselves in awkward ways that my guys can't get down there to kind of take advantage of the situation. Alright. Everyone's little healing situation is still fine, though. It's probably worth pinning this guy up here so that he can't do anything else, and hopefully we can get him recruited. It's like, if you can get somebody pinned against a wall just out of the way, it's just going to be a lot more useful. Alright, that's fine. That generates a bit more MP for him. Please join. Alright, no bueno. Let me try again. Eat more grapes. This is turning out to be a very expensive recruitment drive. Alright, get this one back. Still no. And then hopefully for a few fights we shouldn't have as much recruitment, because we start seeing a little bit of a plateau for levels for a decent bit of Chapter 2, before it ends up switching lanes again later, but for the moment we'll be able to hold out with just these guys. Yeah, that other one we won't really be able to do anything for, I don't think. Please join. Alright, start working on Josephine then. Because she's going to be a problem. We don't want to start... Well, actually, now that I think about it, does it really matter if we lose people here? Because we're just going to get more. We'll play that by ear. See, it's like 5 to 6, 30% failures. Yeah, it happens sometimes. I mean, for the moment, we've already basically won. We're just trying to get an octopus as much as possible. If we don't get it, we don't get it, just like the Terranite last time. It's like, as long as this octopus doesn't decide to attack the warrior unit, we're fine. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and... See, if I have him use his recruit, or his revive right now, then he would be able to get the warrior up, but potentially that might cause other issues. So I'm bringing other weak units alongside with him right now, as well as giving him a fortify here, to try to sneak him over to the Griffin. We're just going to try to sneak straight through this. If the Griffin gets up, that buys us a bit more time. Oh. Okay, never mind. That guy no longer gets to live. He just stole a ton of money. Alright. Also, another thing is, while the guy will be able to move in a moment, we have an opportunity to drop a breach on Leader Lady right here. There we go. Now she's set up for a much easier kill. He's got his phalanx. He can't get over there, apparently. Why, though? Oh, because Josephine, and I guess... Are you running Rampart or something? 1, 2, 3, 4... I'm actually not sure why he can't move over there. Somebody's got Rampart in the way. Oh, it's because they're directly blocking it. I'm just stupid, that's what it is. Okay. Anyway, heal you. Attempt to go for another one, please. I mean, at this point, it's just kind of rude. You know? Alright. Stab the man, get counterattacked, attempt to recruit him so that he's not as much of a threat. Please. There we go, he joined. Could you imagine if this was the version of Darkest Dungeon we ended up getting? It's like the entire time just talking through everybody along the way. It's like, I want to recruit this dude, but also he has like 10 grand worth of money that he just stole, so he just kind of doomed himself on that one. There's several large money drops over the course of the game, and that's one of them, apparently. Alright. So Just go ahead and drop a casual 250 on Josephine over here. Or 125. Oh, she must have already had it activated. Whoops. Oops. Don't want to hit her too many times, because then she'll end up running away, which is a bit of a problem for us. Alright. Need one Mendleaf here. Get him back up on his feet. Pick up a skill card. Soldier Man needs to die. She is one longbow shot away from death, so I'm not too concerned. Water Archer should be able to sword her out whenever needed. Especially if she's going to go punch people, apparently. Alright. Whatever works for you. I think we just sort of push her in that direction. It might help out. It's going to keep her trapped on this little area so she doesn't have a whole lot of wiggle room. Archer's going to sit still for the moment. Don't want to risk that. You're going to go pick up a crit card. You're going to heal yourself. Nice thing is, again, because he's got slightly upgraded equipment, because he's got a shield, because he's got his Fortify, he's essentially de-aggroed in a large way compared to many of the other units, so that helps us out a decent bit for keeping the dream of getting the Griffin back up on his feet alive. Again, if it really comes down to it, we're just not getting an Octopus. But I really would like to, and additionally would really like to see that guy taken care of. That's frustrating. Alright, if you attack this one, I think this is only going to give him 5. Yeah, it's only giving him 3. Oh well. I think she's got a... No, she does not have a heal. Feels like a waste to use a Brand of the Sacrifice here. Yeah, he's like barely holding on somehow. That's fine, that's fine. Get a little bit more, keep on going. Okay, that Griff is dying pretty soon. He's almost within range. It's possible. It's possible that we win out the timer on this one. Unfortunately, we can't kill that soldier guy just yet. Alright. She needs to stand by to just kind of end the fight there. This guy is not doing very much useful. Actually, he's got a healing item that he's already used. Never mind. He's going to go over here. He won't be able to recruit that other unit over there, but that's not his job right now. Why are you like this? Okay, so we're not getting that one. And also, frustratingly, she actually just... You know what? Alright. We're going to pull off what is hopefully going to be the coolest comeback possible. If there's any chance that this guy decides to come back with... Okay, he only comes back with 9. Come on, get knocked into critical, lady. It didn't count. Right. Right. Alright. There we go. It's from the back. Surely you've got this. You've got your crits, you've got your stabs. 100%. There we go. And parried it on top of everything. And she runs away anyway. For some reason, even if she gets knocked into critical, she doesn't seem to want to run away right there at that level of health, but that's fine. Alright. Let's see. Speaking of endings, despite me killing pretty much everything that didn't join me, I got the invasion ending. Oh yeah, you told me. Or that was earlier, I already read it. Let's see, I forget. Do certain classes have a bonus to recruiting certain classes, or was that just TKOL? So, okay, no, it's just a normal normal bonus in this one. You technically had that a little bit in PSP and One Vision 2, because you could stack the racial skill on top of a different skill, or on top of the recruit skill, to get them up there. But it's like basically the balancing act was, in KOL the odds were really low unless you had exactly the right unit, and if you saw the Griffin only run, like, this basically just meant if you had the right recruit combo, it was just an easy, hard counter to that particular class, because you can just instantly get 50% odds from one attack, which is hilarious. And then they tried it differently in TOPSP, where they're like, okay, the odds to recruit kind of suck by default, but you rank up your recruit skill and you also rank up your racial skill, and we're kind of doing the tabletop thing, and you eventually become a god recruiter, except that just takes a really, really long time, and it costs a lot to use in that version. And then so they took out some of the stacking, or at least made it less intense in One Vision, but then also made it cheap to use, which basically meant that now it was viable as an offensive tool. So that was pretty fun. Like, one of my favorite builds for One Vision is having a knight with recruit skills just running up with a spear and ridiculously heavy armor and just like wading in through the crowd and talking to people like an annoying telemarketer, or Jehovah's Witness, I guess. So that was always a fun one to play around with. But then yeah, in One Vision, or not One Vision, in Reborn, the way that they did it is that you can't stack the recruit chance things, but you can use it like, you can pretty much spam it for practically free. Like 25 is something you almost always will have available, and it's something that doesn't cost a lot of recovery time to use. Plus, since everybody's recovery time is just a bit lower across the board this time, or rather a bit higher, I should say. Then you're also seeing like little differences in recovery time not mattering as much, so you typically are able to just constantly run crap like I'm doing here, where I just have multiple units running recruit and just having the entire team join. Anyway. Alright, so let's go ahead and save that there. So Josephine, also known as the Galgastan Troll. Yeah, I mean, she's just living in a frickin' aqueduct. Alright, so we've got Aracel next. What time is it? Yeah, there won't be enough time to do the next one, so I think we'll continue more on that throughout the week. Tomorrow will either be another one of these or OB64. And yeah, so plans to do all that stuff. There was also... Hang on. When the hell is... Halloween's next week, right? Because there was a thing I wanted to do for Halloween, too. But we'll get to that when we get to it. Alright. Anyway, so I'm going to have to call it there for the moment. So y'all have yourselves a good one. Thank you for stopping by. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Oh, hang on. Is Ravenous not going to get recruited? Oh, shoot! Right. Hold on. Let's do that. Thank you for reminding me, because this is exactly when it needs to happen. There we go. Good catch. Good friggin' catch. Thank you, Maverick. So yeah, we are trying to recruit Ravenous this time. For no apparent reason. This was just a total fluke, but whatever. That's going to be our next one. I kid you not, I have had challenge runs where I've specifically gone out of my way to make sure to get Ravenous. I've looked at this map and I was like, you know what, that way looks fun, but I think this way might be more interesting, and then just, like, let her die anyway. Every time, dang it. I don't know what it is about the entire, like, Ravenous recruitment side quest, but it just, like, refuses to stick on the brain. It's like trying to stick noodles on an oil fire. It's just, it just gets burned up on impact. It doesn't even not stick. Anyway, so... Alright, y'all have yourselves a good one. Thank you for stopping by, and next time we do step 2 for recruiting Ravenous before inevitably forgetting. Maverick, I'm counting on you to stick around for whenever part 3 comes around, so that we can go make sure she doesn't die there. I'll almost certainly forget. Just every time. Every freaking